The cold concrete floor of my cramped Alexandra Township room felt like ice against my bare feet as I stared at the acceptance letter from the University of Witwatersrand as law faculty. At 35 years old, I had already tasted the bitter reality of South Africa's racial divide, witnessed the systematic oppression that reduced brilliant minds to menial labor, and felt the weight of my people's expectations pressing down upon my shoulders like an unbearable burden. The year was 1943, and little did I know that this moment would mark the beginning of a transformation that would change not only my destiny, but the fate of an entire nation. The young man who had once fled from an arranged marriage in Mqhekezweni was about to enter the hallowed halls of legal education, where I would forge the intellectual weapons that would later challenge the very foundations of apartheid itself. My journey to Witwatersrand had been paved with hardship and disillusionment, each step teaching me painful lessons about the reality of being black in white-ruled South Africa. After my dramatic departure from Fort Hare University in 1940, where I had refused to accept the compromised position of student council representative, I found myself wandering the streets of Johannesburg like a lost soul searching for purpose. The prestigious education I had received at Fort Hare, where professors constantly reminded us that we would become leaders of our people, seemed utterly inadequate when faced with the harsh realities of urban life and white supremacy. Those early years in the city were marked by a series of menial jobs and crushing defeats that slowly stripped away my youthful idealism and replaced it with a steely determination to understand and challenge the legal framework that kept my people in chains. The turning point came through my fateful encounter with Walter Sisulu in 1941, a meeting that would prove to be one of the most significant moments of my life. Sisulu, with his keen political instincts and unwavering commitment to the struggle for equality, recognized something in me that I had not yet fully understood myself: the potential to become a leader in the fight against racial oppression. Through his influence and connections, I secured a position as an articled clerk at the law firm of Witkin, Sidelsky Eidelman, the only Jewish law firm in Johannesburg willing to employ a black assistant for legal work. This opportunity not only provided me with financial stability, but also gave me my first real glimpse into the workings of the South African legal system, revealing both its complexities and its inherent biases against people of color. Working at the law firm while pursuing my Bachelor of Arts degree through correspondence with the University of South Africa proved to be an exhausting but enlightening experience that shaped my understanding of justice and inequality in profound ways. During the day, I would observe how the law was applied differently depending on the color of one's skin, watching white clients receive favorable treatment while black clients faced an uphill battle against a system designed to disadvantage them. The evenings were spent hunched over law books and correspondence materials, my eyes straining in the dim light of my Alexandra room as I absorbed legal principles and precedents that I hoped would one day serve as tools for liberation. The contrast between the theoretical ideals of justice taught in textbooks and the harsh reality of legal practice in apartheid South Africa created a cognitive dissonance that fueled my growing political consciousness and commitment to revolutionary change. When I finally enrolled at the University of Witwatersrand to study law in 1943, I entered an environment that was both intellectually stimulating and socially challenging, where my presence as one of the few black students served as a constant reminder of the racial divisions that plagued our society. The university, known locally as WITS, was considered relatively liberal compared to other South African institutions, yet even there I encountered subtle forms of discrimination and exclusion that reminded me of my status as an outsider in the world of white academia. My classmates and professors, while generally respectful, often seemed surprised by my academic capabilities and legal insights, as if they had expected less from someone of my racial background. These experiences taught me valuable lessons about perseverance and dignity in the face of prejudice, qualities that would serve me well in the years to come when I would face far greater challenges in my fight against apartheid. The rigorous study of law opened my eyes to the sophisticated machinery of oppression that the apartheid government had constructed through legislation and legal precedent, revealing how seemingly neutral laws could be wielded as weapons against the majority population. Constitutional law, criminal procedure, and civil rights became more than academic subjects. They were the blueprints of our oppression and, potentially, the keys to our liberation. I began to understand how the legal system functioned as both a tool of control and a potential avenue for resistance, studying landmark cases and legal principles with the intensity of a general preparing for battle. My professors, unaware of the revolutionary implications of their teachings, provided me with the intellectual ammunition that would later be used to challenge the very system they represented, creating an ironic situation where the oppressor's own institutions were inadvertently training their future adversary. The culmination of my legal education came with the establishment of the first black law firm in South Africa, which I founded alongside my dear friend Oliver Tambo, my former classmate from Fort Hare, who had also found his way to Witwatersrand. Our practice, Mandela and Tambo, represented more than just a business venture. It was a symbol of black achievement and self-determination in a society that sought to limit our aspirations and confine us to subordinate roles. Day after day, our offices were filled with clients who had been victims of the apartheid system's injustices, families torn apart by the pass laws, workers cheated of their wages by unscrupulous employers, and individuals whose basic human dignity had been trampled upon by discriminatory legislation. Through our legal work, we not only provided practical assistance to those in need, but also gained invaluable insights into the systematic nature of racial oppression and the urgent need for fundamental change. As I reflect on those transformative years of legal education and early practice, I am struck by how my journey from tribal prince to lawyer paralleled my evolution from naive young man to committed revolutionary activist. The law school experience at Witwatersrand did more than teach me legal principles and procedures. It provided me with the analytical tools and intellectual framework necessary to understand the complex mechanisms of apartheid and to envision alternative systems based on justice and equality. The countless hours spent studying case law and legal theory, combined with the practical experience of representing clients in a racially biased legal system, created a unique perspective that would prove invaluable in the struggles that lay ahead. My legal training taught me that sustainable change required not just passionate resistance, but also strategic thinking, careful planning, and deep understanding of the systems one seeks to transform. The path from law student to liberation leader was neither straight nor simple, but my legal education at Witwatersrand provided the essential foundation upon which my later activism would be built. Understanding constitutional law, civil rights, and legal procedure gave me the tools to challenge apartheid through both legal and extra-legal means, while my experience as a practicing attorney revealed the human cost of systemic oppression and the urgent need for revolutionary change. For anyone studying the anti-apartheid movement, civil rights history, or the intersection of law and social justice, my journey through legal education demonstrates how knowledge can become power and how academic preparation can serve revolutionary purposes. The lawyer I became at Witwatersrand would eventually help draft the Freedom Charter, defend political prisoners, and contribute to the legal framework of a democratic South Africa, proving that sometimes the most effective revolutionaries are those who master the very systems they seek to overthrow.